Hi there, so this is the second video for my Spring Easter envelope journal, and I'm going to start decorating the envelopes that are going to be the inside pages. So for the first one here, I'm going to try and use the window as a little pocket. So what I've done is I have opened out the envelope at one end, as you can see, so that I can mark inside, because I don't want the whole envelope to be open. I just want the part behind the window to be open so I can make the pocket. So I'm just going to start tearing some pages and just start decorating, collaging onto the envelope just to cover the envelope. And I'm using a lot of this spotty paper all the way through, which kind of matches in with the cover that we already made in the first video. So there's quite a lot of this. I love this spotty paper, so there's quite a lot of it. So yeah, just putting that across, and I've chosen another page for there. I've marked just by holding it up to the window where the window on the envelope is, and then I'm going to just cut along the sides, and then just go in with some scissors and cut around to get the shape of the window. And I'm going to keep this window part for later as well. That will come in handy. So there we go. I've now cut out the shape of the window. Just going to tear down the pages a bit so they're not totally straight. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to ink around the edge of the window just to blend in the white a bit. And the distress ink doesn't tend to stick to the cellophane part, so you can just wipe that off. Right, just going to glue it down all the way around and just get it stuck on. I believe I'm gonna just torn that there, but that's fine because I'm gonna stick it all down anyway. I'm not gonna worry about that too much. I can just ink over that and it'll look fine. There we go. That's absolutely fine. So now we've got our window there, and I'm gonna mark now inside the envelope where I want to stick it down to. And then the rest of it behind the window will be where my card is going to go in. I'm going to make a journal card to go in there. So just drawing a line across, and then so that top half there I'm going to just glue down with a glue stick. Just get it well stuck down. And then when that's dry, we should have the opening just at the bottom, and then all stuck down nicely at the top. Okay, so yeah, there we go. It's open there, and then the rest is glued down. That's great. And I don't want to get into the pocket from inside. I want to get into it from the outside edge of the page. So what I'm going to do next is just mark the size of my pocket opening, and then I'm going to just trim off with a knife and a ruler just a very slim slither of the envelope, just enough to kind of cut off the fold, so that now I have an opening there, which is going to be where I put my card in to the pocket. So that's going to be where the card is going to come in and out. I'm going to put a notch in that with my inch circle punch, just lining it up to the center of the window. There we go. Just gonna notch that so that we can get the card in and out. So that's our basic pocket there with the window, and I'm going to just decorate the back of the envelope now, and I'm going to just stick something straight over where the opening of the envelope is by the flap, because I don't need it to be open on that side. So I'm just going to stick papers, I'm just going to collage it all over this side of the envelope. There's going to be no pockets or anything on this side, so I'm just using pages from the kit, both kits that I'm using, the Artie Mays kit and the Louise Heinzel kit, and the links for those will be in the description of the video. So just sticking that along, and you see that will close up that opening of the envelope on that side, and then just sticking down some more papers, just choosing another paper to cover the top part of the envelope there. That's another one of the background pages from the Artie Mays kit there. I'm just tearing down to put across the top of the page there. Just getting that torn down with a ruler, just trying to make everything look quite kind of roughly torn, so I'm not doing a lot of straight edges, just tearing things at an angle and just blending them all in. I've got my main bit of page there with the bunny. Get that stuck down just with the glue stick. And that is that for that page. That's the back of the page. So this is pages 1 and 2 of the journal. Just notching that notch again for the pocket opening. Just getting rid of any bits of glue there with a dry wipe, and then just doing a quick ink around, and then I've got a few corners that haven't quite got enough glue on them, so I'm just gonna stick those down. I always check things like that at the end as well, and just stick down any bits that are still not stuck. But there we go, that's the basic page with the window with the pocket opening at the side. What I'm going to do now is actually make a little template to get the right size for the card that I want to make to put into this pocket. So I'm just cutting down a piece of paper, and then I'm just going to put it in, cut it to the right height. Just going to push it in as far as it'll go, and then just draw around with a pencil, and then that will be my size of my card. I'm measuring as well where the window opening is onto here, so that I can draw where I'm using the bit that I cut out earlier, as you can see, it's come in handy. So that is where I want my whatever I want to show in the window, that's where I want it positioned on my card. So that's my template now for that. So I'm going to choose a paper that I want to use for my card. I'm going to go for this one because I'm thinking those 3 butterflies are going to look quite nice if I can get them in the window. So I'm just holding it up to the light so I can see where the position is, and then I'm drawing around the template. Just going to cut that out. So you can see I'm looking at those 3 butterflies just to be what shows in the window at the end, hopefully, if it works out. And there we go. So yeah, that should be in the right position. just gonna now see if I can find something to make the card out of. I found a bit of random card I had left over from something else. I'm just going to glue it down to the white card and just using the glue stick, glue it down. And using my dry wipe for any bits of glue because I'm quite messy. And then just cutting around that and trimming off any of the white bits. I'm just checking here whether it's actually, whether the edges are straight, because it looks like it's not quite straight, and there's a tiny bit, but it's not too bad. I'm just going to trim a tiny bit off. So that is the front of my, so that basically, there we go, that appears in the window when I put the card in, which is what we want. So now I need to cover the back of this card because I don't want it to just be white. So I'm going to choose some coffee dyed paper just to stick onto the back of the card. Just going to tear it to the right size with my ruler there, and then just simply going to glue that to the back of the card. This is not a difficult card, this one. You could do the card and collage it, stick the picture that you want in the window in the correct place, but it just so happens I had the paper with the butterflies on. So there we go. Just going to trim that off again. I'm going to ink around that. Just going to round the corners off first, actually. Yep, and then just inking around the edges. Again, I'll probably go back and do some more when I do the final decoration of the journal, but this will be absolutely fine for now. So there we go. I'm just going to use the brayer just to make sure it's all stuck down properly. So there we go. That's almost done. I'm just going to do a little bit of inking around on the white parts on the edges there, and just we'll go around the opening with the notch, and then I'm not going to worry about the flap part because I'm going to cover that later on when I do the other pages. So that's all stuck down that side, you can see, and then there we go, and then the card just goes in there, and then we have the butterflies in the window, which is exactly what I wanted, so that's perfect. Okay, so that is our first 2 pages of our signature. Okay, so I'm just going to have a little tidy up there, and then I'm going to choose the next envelope, which will be pages 3 and 4. Okay, so we've got a nice brown envelope next. So I'm going to have a little think about what I'm going to actually do on this envelope and how I want to decorate these next 2 pages. So I think it's quite a nice brown envelope, so I don't know if I want to maybe keep some of that, or I'm thinking I might just make a really simple pocket page. This is one of the pages from the bunny hug kit that I'm using, and it kind of matches quite nicely with the Auntie May's kit that I have with the spotty pages, and it's quite a nice fit with that. So I'm just going to use this. I think I'm going to use this half, tear this half of the page off. So I'm going to cover the top half. I'm not going to use the window in this envelope. I'm just going to cover it, that top part, and then I think I'm going to use the rest of the page to make just one big pocket on this page that I can put a tag or a card or probably a few things in when I decorate. So I'm just working out where I want my pocket and how big I want my pocket. Just folding it, and then I'm just going to tear it down to the right size. Just using my envelope to just measure what size I need, and then lay the ruler at the edge, and then I know where I'm going to tear. Okay, so this is a very simple page. That's just going to be stuck there, and then that will be the pocket there. So it's a very simple page, but should be able to get a lot of stuff stuffed into there. So I think what I'm going to do next, just checking it's the right size there. So next thing is more gluing. So get that well glued and just stuck down. Doesn't matter about that bottom part not being covered because I'm going to put the pocket there, just trimming off, but you need to be careful not to trim the edge of the envelope so the flap doesn't fall off. And what I'm going to, so that'll be my pocket there. So I'm going to just stick an extra piece of the paper along there, just going to glue it on, just to strengthen it a little bit where the opening part is gonna be, just so when you're putting things in and out it's not gonna tear. So just a bit of the scrap paper, just marking the center by folding it in half and then creating a little notch so that we can see that we've got an opening there. Okay, just inking around the edges before I stick it down on this one, and just to create some definition there. Right, and now I'm just hunting for my other glue, which is gone. There we go, I found it. My art glitter glue. So I'm just going to put a thin line of glue around so that I don't use up too much of my pocket opening. There we go, that's that. So that actually is that one done. Very simple. Just going to have a quick wipe down, get rid of any excess glue. So yeah, I quite like that page, it's quite simple, and yeah, should be able to get some nice cards or tags or something into that pocket later, but I'll worry about the decoration nearer the end. I'm just going to decorate all the pages first. Okay, so once I've inked around the edges of this, what I'm going to then do is think about what I want to do on the other side of this envelope. Just yep, gluey hands. There we go. Right, so on the other side, again, it's quite a nice brown envelope. So I'm thinking that I don't need to worry too much with this one. I think I'm gonna just do quite a simple decoration on the other side for this one, and I'm thinking I could use the whole size of the opening of the envelope, the whole of the inside of the envelope on this one. I might make into a pocket and just have the actual opening of the envelope as the opening of the pocket, and just do it quite simply. So I'm going to look through and see if there's a paper here I want to use to cover the main part of the envelope, and I'm just flicking through the kit pages, and I'm thinking something kind of an all over background type page. So I've got this page which is from the Artie Mays spring watercolor kit, which is quite a nice page. So I'm thinking I like that one, but maybe I will go for something a little bit different. So I've got this, I used a bit of this page earlier, so I think I've got enough left to actually decorate this page. So I think what I'm going to do is quite simple, and I'm just going to simply cover it and leave the opening that is already in the envelope. So I'm just measuring around just to see. I'm just going to get my ruler, and I'm going to tear off the white edge, just tearing it very badly there. Yeah, so tearing off the white edge, and then I'm going to just use the envelope again to measure to the right size where I want to actually place the paper on the envelope. So just going to take off that bit of the side there. Just trying to get it as straight as I can. Okay, so we'll get rid of that little bit, and then just using the envelope again just to trim off the other side, and then I'm just going to rip off that side. Okay, so that's the basic size that we need. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm just folding it back and just folding it round just to get the shape of the opening, because I think I'm going to use the shape of the opening as it is on the envelope. So I'm just going to cut roughly around the shape. There we go. So that is what I'm going to do for the rest of this page, and then you can have a really big pocket that we can get lots of stuff into. And we could also use, it's quite a pale print on that page, so you could write on that page or stick things on that page or clip things to that page. So it's just a very simple decoration on this one, just gluing it down, just getting the corners glued down. There we go. There we go. So that's just one big pocket now there that you get to. That will be on the inside edge of the signature. So I'm just putting a little bit of paper in there just to protect the envelope while I ink the edge of the opening. There we go. just do a nice bit of inking there. So it's good to use a bit of paper behind just so that you don't get the ink where you don't want it. Just go around the edges. Again, I'll probably go around again at the end and see if anything else needs inking, but I just have a little go around at this stage just so that everything looks nice. Okay, so that is pages 3 and 4 already done and decorated. And yeah, just leave that all to dry. And then we've got 2 really nice pockets there. We've got a really big pocket on the back and a nice large pocket on the front there. So quite a lot of space to put goodies on this one. I'm just trimming off a little bit on the edges and then re-going over just to get rid of the white. Yeah, so pleased with those. Looks pretty good. And then, as I say, it's brown envelope, so I'm just going to leave the brown on the inside there of that pocket. I think it looks quite nice. There we go. So we'll get our journal, and there's our first page, page 1 and 2, and then there's next one, page 3 and 4. Okay, so going nicely. So what we need to do is get our next envelope out. Okay, so here is our envelope for pages 5 and 6. So I'm just going to go straight in with some just collaging onto the envelope. So just going to use again a bit of this spotty paper, just measuring that along there. Yeah, just going to cover all along the top of this. That. Using more of the glue stick. There's a lot of glue stick in this in this video. Okay, just get it right to the edges where possible. Getting a bit messy there. Right, so yeah, I'm getting that stuck down. And then while I'm doing this, I'm thinking, what am I going to do on the rest of this page? Sometimes I find I just start and see what happens if I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to be doing. I just sort of start doing something and then see what happens. So I've got another page from the kit, and I'm thinking it's quite nice just to do, I might do another very simple page just with no pockets on here, I don't think, and I might just stick down this page onto here and have that, because that's quite a nice page on its own, and you could You could write on that page, you can journal on that page, you could stick a picture on there. So I think I'm just gonna do this one very simply. Just checking it's the right size. Right, so I'm just gonna cut off the bit that's hanging over here. Again, being careful not to actually cut into the flap. That's a bit better. Let's just taken the edge off. I'm going to just tear with my fingers just to get rid of the straight edge on this bit. Just get rid of some of the white there. And I'm going to ink over the edge just to create a bit of definition so that you can see the edge a bit more clearly. Okay, again, doing on a bit of paper obviously so that it doesn't go on to anything else. Yep, that's quite nice. I think very simple but very nice. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. You don't have to have pockets on every page, and some pages are good to have less, and then you stick things on after and clip things in, and clip things to the sides of the pages and add fabric flips and things like that. So you don't need to put pockets and all kinds of things on every page. Plus, if you do that, then your journal will end up very, very thick. And this is going to be quite thick on the inside anyway because of the envelopes. So I don't want too much going on every page. Right, so there we go. Just gonna glue that down. Make sure we can still fold our envelope flap. So we'll see the flap edge there where the fold is where the signature is going to be sewn into the journal. So I want to still be able to fold it there. Just going to use the brayer to make sure that everything is stuck down nicely and it's all flat. Right, so there we go. That's quite nice actually. So another white side of envelope. What are we going to do on this side? Just trimming a bit more there. Seen a bit hanging over the edge. And there we go. Lovely. Okay, so on this one, I think maybe we'll do something a little bit different. So I'm kind of thinking as I go along for this one, but what I think I'm going to do is maybe open up the envelope part way and create some kind of pocket here or some kind of fold back. Obviously I'm thinking about this as I go along, so I haven't really got a plan of exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to mark just mark along top and bottom, and then what I'm going to do, like I did to open out the pocket on the first page, I'm just going to take the smallest little sliver off the edge just to take the fold off, and I'm going to do that to my marks on both sides. And there we go, just taking off a very small piece, and then I'm going to go all the way down that side again, taking off the smallest piece possible, really, just enough to take the fold of the envelope off. And what we want to do then is create an opening. So we've opened the envelope now at the opposite side to where the original opening is, and I'm going to fold that. I'm thinking I can get maybe 2 pockets on this side if I fold it back, so I can have the actual inside of the envelope maybe as one pocket. There we go there. And then if I stick down the flap, I can have another one there. So now I need to think about how I'm gonna decorate this, and I'm getting this paper back out because I want to use it somewhere. I like this paper. So there we go. I'm just thinking I could cover the bit that I folded back. I could quite nicely cover then with that, and then use some different papers on the other bits of the envelope. So I'm just going to make a start by just getting rid of the white edge there, because we don't want that to be anywhere. Okay, so again, just tearing most things with a ruler for this, and I'm just using a straight metal ruler. I'm not using my torn edge ruler, as I want them not to be too jaggedy, but if I want rougher edges, then I'm kind of doing it with my fingers. So just tearing it down to the right size to cover that flap. There we go. Just holding it down and then just tearing it off. There we go. Right, so that is going to be stuck onto there, and then I'll need to find something else to stick to the other part. So I'm going to have to cover part of the inside of the envelope for this one, I think, because I don't want to see the blue. I'm just inking the edge there just to dull down the bright blue on the edge. I'm not going to worry about it too much because I think it'll look absolutely fine once everything's stuck down. So just doing a quick blending on the edges. Okay, so just checking again that that's going to be good, and that's how I want it to look. So just thinking what I'm going to use to cover everything else, because I need to, obviously, like I say, cover the inside, and I've got to cover the rest of this bit as well. So I'm going to start kind of in the same style as I've been doing all the other pages, really. Just going to use a bit of the spotty paper at the top. Yeah. Going to tear that down to size. Get that glued down, make a start there. Get it right into the edges. This is my gluing method to get to the edges without gluing my table. The thing is, I should get myself a glue book, but I don't have one at the moment. So here we go. I've got that stuck down. A lot of the time I'm thinking as I go along, so I haven't really got a plan for any of these pages, to be honest. I kind of just, some of them I have an idea in mind, but some of them I'm just thinking as I go along. So I'm just finding something that I can use that will go nicely with the other papers, just to cover the rest of this envelope. And here you can see the camera was not cooperating and I carried on and decorated, but you can see, so I've finished covering. So I've got the pocket opening there, I've stuck the flap down, covered the rest of the envelope with the kit page, covered the inside and the rest of that one with the same paper. So now I've got a big pocket here on this side, and so we've got another 2 nice pockets here. I can get a nice tag or something in there, and then something in there. So that is another 2 pages finished. So page 1 and 2, that's page 3 and 4, and then this is pages 5 and 6. So there we go. And so we're getting on quite well. So I think that will be it probably for this video, and I will be back to do the rest of the pages in another video. So thank you ever so much for watching, and look out for the next video. I will try and make a playlist.